Oh, I tried to call you. That's why.
Oh,
Hi.
and we are live. I'm Amy J,
And I'm Kitty Foss.
and we are here for Vibe of the Week. But before we get started, happy Mother's Day to all of you out there. Whether you are a mother, a grandmother, a fur baby mother, adoptive mother, a mother of humanity, a mother of the earth. You know, if you're a feminine, you're a goddess, you're a divine feminine. So just
And
happy, maybe we should say that.
it's all it's all about the nurturing, folks.
It is. It is. So,
And
um,
and we all came from mothers.
well, that's right. We all have a mother.
I assume.
We hope so. If you don't have a mother, we're gonna talk. Like, put that in the chat because yeah, if you came from, well, never.
We would like you to be a guest on IOTS and explain that, please.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Anyway, okay, wow. Sidetrack, zoom,
Sidebar.
squirrel, sidebar. That's what I used to always say salad bar, like we're off on the salad bar. Okay. All right. Let's get started. Seriously, come on now. Anyways, hello. Hello, Sue.
And the other one is Robin.
Hi, Robin. All right. Okay, so um yes, I wanted to start with saying, happy just divine feminine day. We'll call that because that really felt like there's a lot of that energy coming in. And not just because this is the day we kind of celebrate that as well, but it just feels like there's a lot of masculine energy out there, and it might not always be divine. And masculine energy can be aggressive and it can be like, really pushy type thing. And I think that we're being sent some beautiful, gentle, nurturing, as Kitty said, divine feminine energy for this next week. Because there are still some things that we are going through in this energy, things that we are clearing and things that we are reviewing and evaluating. And my cards exactly say that, and that's the message that I got. So it's kind of like you have to nurture yourself. So if you feel like you should exercise, then, honor that. Stop and ask your body, is this what I should be doing? And do that. But maybe your body's telling you rest. Don't fight that if that's what you're feeling. And so sometimes that masculine energy can cause you to be more, um, I don't want to say spontaneous, but, reactive and go, okay, this kind of thing. And that feminine energy that's coming in is saying, no, stop and go within and get out of your head and go into your body and ask yourself, what should I be doing? So let your guides actually guide you and to do the things that you're being called to do. And because I feel like, yes, there is a lot of energy and I feel like it's fast moving, and you're not really necessarily being asked to slow down, but there might be pivotal points where you're asked to reflect, to just pause for a second and go into your body and get out of the head. And that's kind of what it feels like. So the first card I got was number 28, Karma, and untying the knots. And so there's this coming up. There's a lot of karma coming up. There's a lot of untying of the knots. And what I like about how this Amanda Ellis has portrayed this karma is it is untying the knots. So this one unties, but then you still have this one over here. So it's like, but yet they're interconnected. So again, when I'm talking about you need to review and evaluate, that's also tied into your karma. So this card made perfect sense to me when it came up. The next one was 12, Akashic Records, Evaluation and Review. So I didn't really look so much at the Akashic Records part of it, but what stuck out for me was the guide here that, and I said, let them guide you. Feel into your body of what they're asking you to do and evaluate and review if the things that are happening or that keep coming up, if they are no longer serving you, if you need to untie them and let them go. And that was actually the other card I got was number 4, letting go, time for release. So you're going to be asked to do that, but you're going to be asked to do it in a very gentle, divine, feminine way. So you're going to be asked to slow down, go into your body, nurture yourself, and then ask yourself, what is it that's no longer serving? Because if you are not feeling the changes that are coming in, I'm just not sure. If you're not, you should be feeling that, but I don't want to say that because some of you might not be necessarily feeling it. But if you're not, ask your guides. Go to those divine feminine guides. Those, there's a lot of ascended masters that are feminine, and because there is information and there is new information coming into you. So if you're not really feeling it, then I'd say you might need to get out of here and go into here, which is the body. Get out of the head, go into the body. And then the other cards that I got was the King of Swords. And one thing I wrote down with this is he's saying, be courageous in pursuit of your path. Okay. So he is very intelligent. He's very logic. He's a clear thinker. So that to me, it feels like if you go along with that, stopping, getting out of your head and coming into your body, it's going to become more clear to you. Okay. But again, be courageous. There might be some things you need to really look at. And if you have some resistance to that, again, that might be why you're not feeling the energy as strongly as maybe some others. There might be some resistance. But the Ace of Cups is here. So if you are doing that, if you are nurturing yourself, if you are taking care of yourself, if you are releasing anything that no longer serves you, this Ace of Cups comes with, an open heart, and it's filled with love. And this card is just so, so pretty. And this means new connections, new relationships, new people coming into your life that can maybe help you. So, wherever it is you're thinking of moving through or to, you might be getting some assistance and some guidance here from some new friendships or relationships that can kind of lead you to that. And the other card I got was the Six of Wands. And I have to laugh because the first thing I looked at when I opened up the book for the Six of Wands, and if you see this really close, the spotlights, the hands clapping in the audience, she's getting ready to take a bow. And the first thing that came to me was badass success. So badass success. This is where you want to go. This is the end game right here. Badass success. And I absolutely love that. And I chuckled because I thought, yes, who doesn't want to be a badass and successful doing it while we're doing it? So again, they're just asking you to, I really feel like they're just asking you to review and evaluate and review and evaluate and release. Good gosh. Okay. Don't make it so evasive, like, with this camera that's backwards that does that to me. Bring it forth, but bring it forth again with that nice, beautiful love and divine feminine energy. So don't be too hard on yourself, but get going, man, because we need some more badasses out there. All right?
Yeah,
More badasses. All right, Kitty, I'm handing it over to you now.
well, and that, really does kind of fit in with the stars right now.
All right.
So
Good.
we've been sitting here in this kind of pause, still in this receiving, this feminine of receiving, getting information. And what be aware of this week is there is a there is a lot of information coming forth internally for you, but your mind is the last to know. And so it is really important this week because a lot of the energies are what's called incongruent. They're just not talking to each other this week at all. And that's a good thing because the energies that are stepping center front to be get ready for this eclipse. It's on the 16th. So I've got 3 dates for you. What were you doing in 2003? What were you doing in 2014? What kinds of things were happening this time of year, April and May? And then the third one is 2010. So we start the week off with things not talking to each other today, and tomorrow there is a lot of flip-flop energy. Saturn, our planet of limitations, is sitting there in a square to our transformation at the moment. So they're not really hanging out with the sun or anything. They're just all kind of getting ready. And that's what this is. There are a lot of history things that are just showing up. Things that are showing up, synchronicities that are bringing forth memories for a reason. So when we hit Tuesday this week, 2 big things happen. Our friend and colleague Mercury goes retrograde. And
I'm like,
Mercury's
"Oh,
retrograde Mercury's retrograde is in its home sign, and it's actually going to travel back into Taurus before it comes forward again in the beginning of June. And when Mercury goes retrograde, it really is about going to have internal conversations. How are you speaking to yourself? And it's in Gemini. It wants you to experience your own communication, your own technologies internally the way you want to. So, Amy, what those cards, in order to be a badass, you are stepping into, and there are things coming forward for you to remind you of the person you're letting go of, or some of the other people you've been authentically. A really big cycle begins on Tuesday. Jupiter moves into Aries. Now, Jupiter travels about for 12 years, and we've just finished the 12th cycle of the 12 cycles. So under 144 years. And so now Jupiter is going into Aries, and that's all about the new beginning. We are on a brand new level. This is a truly portal of leveling up this Tuesday, where Jupiter is in Aries. Jupiter wants you to expand. Jupiter wants you to experience this new beginning. And remember, the first new beginning goes exactly with what Amy was saying. The first newness we discovered in this lifetime was our bodies. Our bodies are what step forth and guide us. Meanwhile, Neptune has been here giving us all of this information. That Taurus solar eclipse wanted to stabilize us. Taurus is about how we make money. Our new Scorpio lunar eclipse that's going to happen is how we're spending money. So this is a really good time as you're expanding to look at your expenses, step back, figure out what can I let go of, where can I, because in the short run, Saturn is asking you to be responsible in Aquarius and step forth and just kind of pushing on it. But that restraint is to get yourself in a better position for this expansion. But again, the mind is the last thing that's understanding this right now. So if you feel like, what the farkle is going on? It's because
it's never going to end.
all this other information, it isn't going to end. It's a
No.
new beginning. And so this is this 12-year cycle with Jupiter till 2034 and 19. See, there's a lot of past things. So this 12-year cycle in Pisces began in 2010, and it's just ending, and it's going to stay. This newness right now is not coming to the consciousness. It's in this spark, because in July, this same Jupiter is going to go retrograde back into that last 12 cycle to get that other information to help put that transition together for whatever this newness is that you're looking at. Who do I want to be? Meanwhile, this Jupiter is going over where Chiron has been, which has been healing our wounds in Aries, wanting us to be our authentic self. And now it's going over that period, that same space of degrees, so that it wants us to expand. So this Tuesday is this big portal, this new beginning, and it's no mistake that Mercury is going retrograde to have internal conversations about what is it here, what experiences do you want, because Gemini is about experience. It's the twin aspects of everything.
So maybe Tuesday night would be a good night to try out spirit communication if you haven't already.
And maybe we'll do something before spirit communication about it, because it's going to be a big day, because the rest of the week goes on, and a lot of those energies stay incongruent, stay where they are, and it's getting ready for this big eclipse that's happening Eastern Standard Time just after midnight on Tuesday. So for a lot of you, it's going to be Monday night late. And it's a total lunar eclipse, and it's in Scorpio, so it wants us to transform. It wants us to look at the light and see it's like, I heard someone describe it as you've got a boat and you're dragging strings, and now you're realizing where you're dragging to either pull it in or cut it off and let it go. So that's what we're getting ready for. Meanwhile, you've got Jupiter wanting you to start these experiences. So this is that transitional week, all that information that we've been receiving. And again, your mind is the last place to know, because part of that is that square. You feel like there's a responsibility you need to take, but you're not quite sure what it is, because it wants you to kind of look. So look at what things are coming up for you. And again, those years were 2003, 2010, and 2014. Those are all key pieces of where you were and maybe some of the lessons. Doesn't mean you're doing them again. That's kind of a misconception. People are like, oh, I don't want to do that again. No, but what was it taught you?
Right.
So it is. You're trusting into that you're moving. It is moving quickly, but that you're giving it up, and give your mind the time to say, hey, you know what? Let's just work on the helpful thoughts that come forward, and release the other ones. And having that conversation with yourself. Mercury is retrograde coming in. And then on the 12th, we do have working in the background Pluto in that Capricorn, helping you see that responsibility, and Mercury working with that moon at that point, which is in Virgo going to Libra. So it's looking for balancing of the pieces. And then on Friday, what we do have working for us again is that Saturn in Aquarius of the vision, really working with that balance and how we are. And those are really the aspects that are incongruent this week. Everything else is either in a flip-flop energy or incongruent. So it kind of means it's holding, either squaring or just kind of not talking to each other. So those other players are stepping forward. So get your badass self going and take care of yourself. As Amy said, if your body feels like doing it, if intuitively you're told to go do something, but be gentle with your mind, because it isn't understanding. It's really not understanding right now. And this is that time of allowing. I'm just going to allow until I fully understand it and follow, because there's a lot of intuitive things that will be happening this week in that expansion, things to be starting. So it's quite the week. It's always quite the week, but this has been... Since 2020, this has been about, and the world right now is looking a little bit crazier. So,
okay, so on that note, the last two cards were focus on the positive. Okay, So that's exactly what you should be doing. So focus on the positive and live your bliss. I love this one. Live your bliss. And this one goes right along with that badass success. Live your bliss. So don't be too hard on yourself. And that's 5 of the week. And
Yeah,
if you've noticed, this is kind of another little salad bar there. So Kitty and I were talking before we come on how that we've had those experiences this week where we're like, oh, I already know that, And then
mhm.
I'm like, but how did I know that? Because that just came out. Like I thought I watched something and I was watching it for the first time because it wasn't out the time that I thought it was when I watched it. I don't know how to explain that, but it's just kind of crazy, those timeline jumps that kind of feel like are going on there too. So I don't know if anybody's experiencing that, but both her and I were like, oh, has that happened to you? Because that really happened to me this week. So,
Oh, it's been really wild about that, you know. Um, One of the other things that's starting to happen is our balance, Venus and Mars have been traveling together. And Mars has been in Pisces, and Mars in Pisces is like treading water. It doesn't really know where to go with the will. It is
mhm,
going to move to, very soon to Aries, but and this will be the last time they travel together for a while, and then they start to separate again.
mhm.
So we're in for a little masculine, feminine, you know, working together. So yeah, it really is. Just, take
Yeah,
care of yourself, give your mind a
really.
break. It will get there, but the
Yeah.
rest of it is ahead of you. So, if your left ear starts going off this week, it's your higher self giving you more information.
Yeah.
That's all.
Well, and on that note too, if you're feeling kind of uh, off center, I guess, with some of this energy, reach out to someone and talk to them about it. And because Kitty and I do that a lot, and we find that we're either feeling things the same way, or maybe they might be impacting us a little bit different, but yet we're both feeling something's going on. And it's just nice to have someone. So, because sometimes really lately it feels like you go, is this just all in my head? Am I going crazy? That kind of thing. So make sure you have someone to reach out and talk to and say, hey, I'm feeling this. What's going on? I think that would be really helpful. And
Yeah, because we're holding a lot of space for a lot of people waiting to kind of, it's it's not catch up, it's get different information. And
yeah.
I mean, I know I've been feeling like for the last 4 or 5 weeks kind of absent because there's been so much going on in my 3D life, and
Mhm.
yet understanding that that's what's supposed to be happening.
Yeah.
We're all stepping back and starting to get the niggling of
Yeah.
whatever our next steps is. Speaking of that, we're starting to have our guest speakers come back on, and so that list will be out, and we've got some interesting people coming, and I've got two big conversations in the works for this late this summer and early in the fall. So
Yay. Yes.
it I'm getting
Mhm.
excited for that. So
Well, and that does feel like we've kind of been treading water, I think is a beautiful way to say that. We've just been treading the water. So we've just been keeping afloat and haven't really had a lot of not really sure where to go. And now it seems that like you said, it's going to change. That's going to change a little bit. So, but
yeah,
if you're feeling that, really reach out to, another person, divine feminine or divine masculine, and just share that information. And um, because it can be kind of a challenging time, especially when you're treading water and you're not really sure where it is you're going,
and
So that can
there's a
be,
lot of uncharted for
yeah,
lots of people who've been doing this a really long time are feeling that. Speaking of that, we all want to take a moment and send some healing out to our buddy, Chrissy Newman, who is not feeling very well these days, and sending her much healing. We love you, Chrissy,
mm,
um, and you've got this, girl. You know.
yeah,
So,
and prayers.
but yeah, it is a good time, um, because you're being asked to be your authentic self. You're being asked to find that. So find other people who bring that out in you.
Right.
You know,
And I want to just say too, yes, definitely send that energy out to Chrissy. But I feel like there's a lot of people right now, they're just not feeling good in their physical bodies, and they're just, that kind of thing. So out to everybody. Then you've got the whole mind not knowing and feeling, maybe some uh, illness or unease in your body. I mean, so it's a difficult time. And that's why I just really want to just reiterate that, to reach out to a friend if you're feeling those things, and we'll support each other and we'll send healing for each other.
it's
Because
if you can look at it as, we feel our feelings, but don't assign it thoughts. It's just a new time.
right.
And you have the ability, after you've kind of felt them, to assign it a different task. That's all.
Yeah.
Where do I want to take this thought now,
Hmm.
or
Yeah.
this feeling, and give it a new thought, a
Yeah.
different energy? And you are being asked to look at lots of old stuff, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Uh, some of it's thank it and let it go.
Yeah.
So,
Hmm. Yeah. So definitely, again, you have to hold the space for each other, and that's kind of sometimes a really hard thing to do. And we might be holding it for a lot of people, and our family members, and all kinds of things. So go gentle and easily on yourself, but ask for help or healing if you need it, and
and remember
that's
this
what we're
week,
here for.
and remember this week, a lot of things aren't talking to each other, but the ones that are here to help us communicate and expand. So
Yes. Okay.
that's what's around. So,
All right, friends. This has been really nice.
mhm.
Badass success is coming. So if you can hold on, just hold on for a little bit. Just get into that vibration of what it's going to look like. What are you going to look like? Whenever I need to like pump myself up, I'm always like, and I don't know why. It's just kind of something like this, getting my arms going, but get ready for that badass success. Get in that vibration already, even if it's not happening right now. There's no better way than to make yourself feel better than get into that higher vibration and that joy of where it is where you're headed to, where you're being directed, where you're being guided. If you can get into that vibration now and go, man, this is going to be so awesome.
I
That's
got
just,
the Beach Boys going good, good, good.
yeah, that
Good
higher vibration.
vibration.
Already feel it, because
Yeah,
wow, we are some badass women and men if you're watching. And yeah, so get into that. I love that. Good vibration. All right. Okay.
all right.
Rocky, there you go. Okay,
Yeah.
until next week, vibe of the week. Over and out.
I'm Kitty Foss.
I'm Amy J. And aloha
Aloha,
always.
oi. Bye now.
See you next week.